Am I the astronaut for being upset that my wants are put on hold again, even when it could potentially help us financially? I'm still trying to work through my big emotions as I write this. I, female 26, am a stay-at-home mom. I take care of our 3 kids, 6, 3, and 1. My husband, we'll call him Joseph, male 29, is a full-time construction worker. My husband works so hard, is always exhausted from long days in the sun, and often tells me I don't need to work because he can take care of us. That it's better if I stay home financially because daycare for 3 kids is almost as much as our rent, and I've always respected that because he wasn't wrong. Now, that doesn't mean I don't want to work. I have no problem getting a job, especially with the price of everything going up. Well, for the past 2 years, I've been interested in flipping furniture. I've done a few projects in our home and took great pride in my work. It made me happy to see the finished product. That's when I thought about turning my hobby into something that could make us money. I mean, why not, right? I brought my idea up to Joseph many times, and he always said the same things. You'll lose money before you make money, and you know it'll cost a lot to start out, right? I know his brain is always on the financial side of things, but his comments made me feel kind of unsupported. So I'd always put my idea to the side. It was a one day I'll do that kind of thing. Just not today. Well, at a family game night, I was talking with my mom and her boyfriend, and my plan just happened to come up in a conversation. They both seemed really happy for me and told me I should go for it. My mom's boyfriend even offered to find me furniture to flip, and he did. A few weeks after that game night, he sent me pictures of 2 dressers that he bought for me to flip. He spent a total of $50 on both pieces and told me, you need to start somewhere. I legit started crying. I was so happy and felt so loved and supported. I told Joseph what my mom and her boyfriend did, and he seemed happy for me, but only after I explained how his comments had been making me feel. He apologized for the way he had been coming off. He assured me he had no intention of hurting me and that he would help me in any way that he could. We planned to get the supplies I needed on payday. For the first time in a while, I felt like more than a mom, more than a wife. I felt like I had something for me. I was finally finding my identity again. I was able to make us money while doing it. Even if it took a little to start out, the payout could be great in the end. If I don't try, I'll never know what I can do. Well, after paying the car, water, and light, we had more than enough to get what I needed. I was excited. The sooner I get the supplies, the sooner we can put the dressers on the market. Now, this is why I'm kind of hurt and upset. My husband just called saying we had to pay for some other things and that we would have to postpone my supplies. He apologized and said once we catch up on everything, we can get whatever I need. I understand what he's saying. There's more important stuff to pay for than my hobby, but why do I still feel like crying? He called again, offering to play my favorite video game with me, but I told him no. I don't want to play anything. I just want to ball up under the covers and hide. I feel like I'm always waiting for the day we're caught up to move forward in life. I don't want to be a stay-at-home mom forever. I have dreams and goals too. I always support his no matter what. Even if we struggle a little bit, I'm always by his side. I want to see him grow in life and do things that make him happy. It just doesn't always feel the same for me. What if us being caught up doesn't come? Do I keep putting my wants on hold, even if it could potentially help us out financially? Maybe I'm just being selfish. Am I the astronaut for being upset that my wants are put on hold again, even when it could potentially help us financially? No. You're not upset for this at all. What are your thoughts, Tony?
I think the problem here is he's going to keep moving the goalpost on her. He's going to keep, next month you might be thinking, oh, okay, we're good. But then, oh, something's going to come up and do this. And I think maybe part of that is him thinking that he's going to have to get involved with it. And he's thinking that I don't have time to mess with this. I don't want to do this. I've got a job. He thinks he's going to get roped into it. So I think maybe that's part of his hesitation towards it. And OP, it's not saying that you need him to do that, but in his mind, he may be thinking that of like an extra obligation that he's going to have to do. And he may not want to do that. I think you just got to communicate with them and tell them how important this is for you and that it's important that you do this. You're not asking to go out and fill a garage full of furniture out the gate. You're asking to, get 1 or 2 pieces, start slow, start small and see what happens. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I think there's also this approach where as you're looking at spooling up a side hustle, which is what this is. And I think it's great. The part of this that he probably wasn't seeing in the beginning, because it's hard for someone who's not a stay-at-home parent to see, is that the need to be more than a mom, the need to be more than a wife, the need to have something that is for you, aside from the financial profitability side of it, that need is real. And that is how you fill up your cup with you things, right? You have to have that thing that is for you individually, that is not a shared thing. Otherwise, you will start to go crazy. And you yourself said you felt that way for so long that it's hard for someone who isn't going through that and hasn't felt it to see it and to understand it. So once you explain that to him, I'm sure it clicks and he's going to be super supportive. Until then, it is very much like Tony was saying, like looking at how am I going to have to get involved in this? What are the potential costs for it? Like, what are the normal things that he would check? All those boxes that he would look to check along the way. But knowing that it is not just something that could help you money-wise, help your family money-wise. More importantly, it's something that you need to make you whole. I think if that's what you ended up communicating to him, and that's where the light bulb lit up for him, and that's when he started becoming super supportive and doing the side gigs to make it work, awesome. The other side of this is when you're looking at spooling up a side hustle, you don't have to take big steps. If all you could afford was like one freaking paintbrush this payday, you build a mountain with big and small rocks. You know what I mean? If all you can afford is small rocks right now to put on the pile and to contribute toward what you need, you don't have to get everything at once. Like you do what you can and move through that process too. So I'm so glad to hear that it all turned around for you. Again, you can't be an asshole for feeling something. And even the way that you acted on it by being upset about it, you can't necessarily control that either. You didn't overreact about anything. You didn't flip out and project your ire toward him or anything. You handled this all really well. It's okay to feel. It is definitely okay to need something that is a you thing when you're a stay-at-home parent because you need it. You absolutely need it. And so glad to hear that it worked out well for you.
And good job, husband.